So I'm just going to remove my center point marker now because I don't need it anymore. I've got this stitch marked on here so I know where I am on the pattern. And there are 4 more stitches of this colour in this row, and you're going to work along to nearby stitches in rows or columns usually. So I'm going to do my first arm of the next cross. Now, instead of doing the next cross, finishing this cross by going back here, I could do that as I did this one, and I'd then have 2 complete crosses. What we normally do is do the whole row in half cross stitches. So just keep going like this along the row. You can do the full cross stitch, and it depends where you're going on the pattern. At some points, if I'm going up the edge of the wing here, for example, I don't necessarily want to come back again as I'm stitching, then you'll do full cross stitches and sort of travel along that way. If you're doing a bigger block of colour, then you will use up less thread if you do it this way, because you're not having so many diagonals on the back. And so that's why you tend to do this row of the half cross stitch, and then you'll come back again and do the top. So remember, we're keeping our stitches in the same direction for the half cross stitches, which is going on the underside. All of the cross stitches in this piece are going to have these stitches running in the same direction, and the top running in the other direction, which will make it look nice and neat. So there's 5 stitches in this row altogether. We've done the first one, so these are the 4, and I'm then going to come back up and then just go back along to complete the crosses on this row. So it is just like doing a single cross on its own, but it's a more efficient way of doing it. And we have completed that row. So you're always thinking ahead where you're going to stitch next in terms of where you want to end up with a row and so on. You're just sort of gently planning, which is part of what makes it a mindful craft, because it's got that little bit of concentration whilst also being very, very easy. As you can see, I'm literally just stitching crosses in the hole. So I've coloured in that area that I've stitched, so we know that bit's done. So I'm going to carry on down this leg now, all these bits that are in this triangle symbol. Remember, we're not going to stitch any squares filled by a different symbol because they're going to be in a different colour, so we'll do that with a new thread. So I am just going to carry on down this leg, do the stitching, 3 stitches along here, and 3 more half stitches back again. Now you may find that your thread, can you see here, it's got a bit sort of twisted round. As you stitch, it starts to get twisted. So every now and then you just twist your needle back again, or even let it hang and unwind a bit so that it doesn't get too twisted, which will make your stitches look a bit nicer. And then we just carry on, and I have done that row. I'm going to come back through that hole to start the next row, colouring that. The leg of the dragon is growing. It's rather satisfying when you start the pattern. You can see it starting to develop. So I've done that. I now need to come, instead of coming in this hole to make another row the same length, I'm coming up this hole because we've just done that row, and this stitch is one to the side here. So come through that. I'm going to do this first arm of the cross stitch. Instead of doing it top left to bottom right, I'm doing it top right to bottom left, which is absolutely fine. You don't have to always stitch in this direction. You can always stitch in that direction, just so long as your final arm of each cross stitch is running in the same direction for both the top and bottom stitches. So there's 3 more here. Now, because I'm near the bottom of this row, I'm going to carry on and do the half cross stitches for the row below that as well, because you can also do it that way if you want to end up nearer the top of the pattern, nearer the top of your stitched area, for example, when you have finished this section. So do that, and then I will come up and do these stitches here. So you can see how easy it is, and it's so relaxing because you're just following the pattern. If you're tired after a busy day, you don't have to make any decisions, and you don't have to decide precisely where to stitch. You can just follow the pattern and enjoy seeing it appear. So I have coloured that in, that I've done, and that is the amount that we've stitched there. So I've now finished this little section here. I've still got the colour left on my needle, and I've got more stitches I want to do in this colour, but I'm going to have to carry the thread along to get to the next section I'm going to do, which is going to be coming down this tail. So I'm going to show you in the next video how to carry your thread neatly along the back of your piece.